Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. So as you'll see by the title of today's video, this is part 3 of the house series that we are filming. If you're new here, my partner and I have been looking at buying a house since October 2021 and it's now June 2022, so it's been a while. The last time I spoke to you, you will have seen that we were buying a cottage. We had had an offer accepted and we had sent off the mortgage application. I think that was the last time I updated you. I think it was like March or something. So if you saw the end of the last video, you will know everything changed. We sent off our mortgage application. It was sometime in March. I think it was the beginning of March. And I think we waited about 3 weeks for the application to come back, basically to see if we'd been approved for the mortgage or not. It got to like week 3 and we hadn't heard anything, so I asked my mortgage advisor and he said he didn't know. So I went directly to the lender that we went with and messaged them on their live chat asking for an update, and I had a feeling something was wrong. I don't know why, I just had a gut feeling that something wasn't right. So I basically messaged them, said, can you please give me an update? It's been 3 weeks and we were told it would take 2 weeks. They messaged back and said they didn't have all the documents they needed, which they did, so I don't know where they got that from. And I said basically, okay, we'll send the documents you need over, but can you please give us an update of where we're at? This is where they informed us that there was a £5,000 retention on the mortgage. So the mortgage we needed was for 175, obviously with a 5% deposit. So it was for 175 minus 5%, I don't know what it was. So they were keeping £5,000 back off the mortgage. They weren't willing to give us £5,000, and we asked them why, because obviously we were like, why not? And there were problems with the house that we weren't aware of. The one we did know was that there was mould. As I said in my last video, there was mould on the exterior wall, or the external wall, on the inside, because the roof was leaking water and it was dripping down the side of the house. So we knew there was mould, we knew we'd have to get it sorted, but we didn't know to what extent. So when they went out to inspect the house, when you apply for a mortgage they have a valuation done to make sure the house is worth what you're paying for it. So they went out and did their valuation and essentially said they couldn't give us the whole amount because of these problems. So they wanted a damp and timber survey carried out because they believed that the damp in the house had gone down to the timbers of the house. And the other thing was, which was a big problem, and this was actually the turning point for us, was there was a chimney breast in the bedroom, in the main bedroom, which we weren't aware of. It had been taken out, but they'd left the chimney on the roof unsupported. So essentially they should have supported the chimney or taken the chimney off the roof, because you've got a lot of weight sitting on a roof with nothing underneath it to support it, which would have been the chimney breast. So they weren't willing to give us the whole mortgage amount until the issues were fixed. So we went back to the seller and said to him, if you get a damp and timber survey carried out on the house and you fix the issue with the chimney, we're willing to go through with the sale. If you don't, we're pulling out. And he said no. We were gutted, but we kind of saw it coming. There were a lot of things with the house that you don't tend to get with a house. So there was a deed of covenant on the house, there was a right of way, there was a flying freehold, so there were little things that we were kind of willing to just let go of and just put up with, basically. But when obviously the structural issues came up and it was going to cost us a lot of money if we'd have gone through with the house sale and not fixed it before, we basically said no, we can't afford to do it. We were looking at potentially like 6-7 grand to fix the chimney because it needed steels underneath it to support it, and we were like, no, we can't do it. And actually, once we'd pulled out, although we were upset, we were kind of relieved as well, because there were obviously those worries around the cottage anyway, like with the deed of covenant, because it can put future buyers off, and we were worried when we came to sell the house we might not be able to. So we were relieved. We were also upset because obviously we had all these plans for the cottage and we were really excited to do it and make it our own, but we made the decision to pull out. So we officially pulled out of the house sale on the 31st of March. So our mortgage advisor at that point asked us if we wanted to keep viewing or if we wanted to have a bit of a break, but we said we wanted to keep viewing. But we had decided we wanted to go with a different mortgage advisor just because we didn't have the best experience with the one we were with, and the mortgage advisor that my mum uses and my brother uses, we decided to go with her. She's an independent one. We went with the mortgage advisor that the estate agents recommended, and let's just say they work for money rather than for their clients in the nicest way possible. Obviously they're more interested in getting money for themselves and for the estate agent. So on the 2nd of April we went straight back into viewings because we didn't want to wait around. We'd already wasted a month and a half obviously trying to go through with that other house. So we viewed another cottage in that village. Actually no, we turned up to view it, saw that there was no garden, and we walked away. We then also viewed another house. It was a mid-terrace cottage. It was in a different area to the one previous on that day. We got there, the garden was amazing, the garden was huge, but there was no parking and it was really small, so it was just a no, and there were mold on the walls. So we were like, we've learned from the cottage we pulled out of, we're not going through with that again. Like, so then we viewed another house on the 20th of April, which was a end terrace 2-bed cottage. It's like a 2 up 2 down. It had been completely renovated, so there was no work we had to do on it. So I went and viewed it with my mum. I wasn't in love with it, I didn't feel like it was ours, so we didn't go any further with that. And then we've had a lot of viewings since then. Basically we viewed another house which was an ex-council house, so it had a big garden, but we didn't like it. That was the 26th of April. The 29th of April we viewed a terrace cottage and I loved it. I loved it from the pictures. We turned up, I took my mum and my nan because Harry couldn't come, and literally from the second I walked in the door I was in love with it. And the garden was tiny. That was the only downside to it. The garden was very small, but I was willing to look past it. I loved the house. It didn't need any work doing. It was beautiful. The decoration was beautiful. I was just head over heels in love with it basically, and I wanted it. And both my mum and my nan said it felt like home. It felt like it was for us. So I took Harry on the Sunday, so I don't know, it was a couple of days after I took my mum and my nan. I took Harry on the Sunday to view it, and he loved it just as much as me. We were walking around the house and he was literally smiling the whole time. That's how much he liked it, and I've never seen him like that in a house when we viewed one. He loved it, and again, he didn't like that the garden was so small, but he was willing to look past it because the house was just amazing. It was beautiful. So we made an offer. We offered £15,000 over the asking price because the market right now is crazy. If you know, it is insane. Houses are going way above asking price. You can get one house and there'll be like 20 people viewing it, so there's so much demand for houses at the moment and the competition is just ridiculous. So we offered £15,000 straight away because we said to the estate agents, we love it, we want it, we don't want to miss out on it basically. They then came back to us and said that there was a higher offer than ours and asked if we wanted to up it. So we put another, I think it was £5,500 on top of our offer. So at this point we were like £20,000 or almost £20,000 over asking price, and our offer was declined. They had a higher offer from a wealthy couple that had come from a wealthy area and were downsizing. So we were gutted. More gutted than when we pulled out of the other house sale. We loved that house. We absolutely loved it and we wanted it so badly, hence why we offered so much more than the asking price, but it still wasn't enough. And that just goes to show how crazy the market is, because for houses to go that above asking price is just insane. And then on the 16th of May, so last month, we actually placed an offer on the fully renovated cottage I just mentioned that we viewed, the one that I felt like wasn't home when I viewed it with my mum. But I took Harry back because at this point there were no new houses on the market. We just wanted to find a house, so I took Harry back to it because I said I don't want to rule it out, because obviously it was fully renovated and we could literally move in straight away and we wouldn't have to do anything to it. So I took Harry, he really liked it, and we said we might as well make an offer because it had been on the market for like 3 months, so we thought we would be in with a shot. It was on sale for 200,000 and we didn't think it was worth that whatsoever. It had no storage, not one storage cupboard. The garden was small, the neighbours' houses were very messy, and although they were renovating, it obviously does, the curb appeal isn't there. So we offered 185. We kind of thought, do you know what, like, we've got this in the bag, it's been on sale for months, he's gonna want to get rid of it basically. But again, the estate agents came back to us and said the offer was declined. He did mention that the last person that pulled out of the sale bought it for 195, so we were way under what the owner wanted. He asked us if we wanted to increase, but I said no, and he mentioned that there was some land behind the house that the owner also owned, which was separate to the house, which he was willing to sell with the house, but he wanted an extra like 5, 6, 7, 8 grand for it. So initially I agreed to go and look at the land that they were willing to sell with the house, but after thinking it through and speaking to Harry and speaking to the mortgage advisor, we were like, what is the point in having a 2 up 2 down house with no storage, which we can't really be in for a long time, and then having a massive garden? There's just no benefit to it. So I spoke to the mortgage advisor and she said, you can't now go and buy this house without buying the land, because if someone else buys the land behind the house and builds houses on it, you'll look out of your garden into a building site basically, or into someone else's house. So I called the estate agents, I told them we were pulling out of the sale, and we were back to square one again. The 16th house viewing we had was the 28th of May. It was a 3-bed semi-detached house, but it didn't have any parking, and actually I lied, we didn't even go and view this in the end. We ended up cancelling the viewing because of the fact that there was no parking, and the garden was really overlooked by literally every other house around, which we really didn't like. So I ended up cancelling that viewing, and we then went and viewed a 1-bed cottage, and I think at this point we were desperate, I won't lie. We were just ready to move out. We have our 10% deposit, so we said we'll view anything at this point. So we went and viewed it. I took my mum and Harry, and the garden was insane. The garden was like 45 meters long, I believe. 45 meters? 45 foot. The garden was huge. I can't remember what measurement it is. My brain isn't working, but it was amazing. It was huge. It was like having your own forest in the garden basically. So we loved the garden. It had 2 outbuildings, which is obviously great because Harry has all his shooting gear. It had so much potential, but it was too small. The house was too small for us. We need more than a 1-bed house. Even if we'd have renovated it, it would have been a lovely house, but it needed too much work. And then on the 4th of June, we went and viewed a 3-bed semi-detached house, which was up for sale at auction. And I spoke to the estate agents and I said to him, we don't want to go to auction, but is there any chance he'd take an offer before it goes? And they said yes, if the offer was good enough, we would. Or he would, sorry. So we went and viewed it and we loved it. The garden was really big. It had a boot room, it had a utility room. It was 3-bed, like I said, so it had so much space, and we loved that it was semi-detached. So we were going to make an offer, and I spoke to the estate agents and I said to them, I want to make an offer, and they said okay, we'll call you Monday, because at this point it was a Saturday. So they didn't call us Monday. I actually had the auction house ring us to say, what did you think of the house? And I said, we really liked it and we want to make an offer, but we don't want to go to auction. I said the estate agent told us we can make an offer before it goes to auction. And what the estate agents failed to tell us was that even if we made an offer before auction, all the auction fees and terms and conditions still applied. So we'd have to complete within 56 days from, I think it was like having the offer approved, or the, I don't know what it was, but we had to complete within 56 days, which wouldn't have been a problem. Our mortgage advisor said it would have been fine, but there was an £8,000 fee on top of our deposit if we wanted to buy it, even though we weren't going to auction, because he'd registered it at auction. That was too late basically. Even if he didn't sell it through auction, we'd have to pay the auction fee, which was I think 4.2% of the house price. So we were going to offer 11,400 over asking price, and the fee came to like £8,900, and we were like, no, I said to the estate agents, if we'd have been told this from the beginning, we wouldn't have viewed it, because all we were told was we could make an offer before it goes to auction and it would be a normal sale. And obviously at a normal sale you don't pay a fee on top of your deposit, so rather than paying what would have been £21,000 deposit, we would have been paying £30,000, and we don't have the extra 9 grand for the fee. So I said to them, I'm sorry, but we're pulling out. And at this point we had had enough with this particular estate agent. All the houses we viewed that we've had problems with have been through them. They've failed to tell us things about the houses that we've viewed until we'd made offers, like with the cottage. And we just didn't find that they were being particularly nice to us. They weren't treating us very nicely. They were keeping a lot of information from us, like I said, that we needed to know and should have known before we viewed any houses. And we just didn't have the best experience with them. So this was like 2 weeks ago now. And at this point, we've had enough with them. If we can help it, we don't want to deal with that estate agent, because we've just had nothing but bad experiences with them. And yeah, if we can avoid them, we will. So that brings us up to today, which is the 9th of June. So this evening we are viewing our 20th house, and I have had enough of viewings. Harry has had enough of viewings. We are done with them. We just want to find our house. So we are viewing this evening a 3-bed terraced house. So this has been on the market for like a month and a half, and I cannot figure out for the life of me why it hasn't sold. It's been reduced twice, so we're hoping. The pictures look nice. There doesn't look like there needs any work, so if it's as nice as what the pictures make it out to be, I think we will make an offer, because at this point we just want a house and it would be perfect for us. So we have just said if we like it tonight, we will make an offer. Obviously it has been on the market for a while and it has been reduced a few times, which actually could work in our favour if we do like it, because then hopefully we could get it for a little bit lower. Whereas if this was any other house, we probably would have gone in straight in at like 6-7k over asking price just to hopefully secure it. But hopefully the fact that it has been on the market for a while will work in our favour, because hopefully the people will just want to sell it. But we are kind of like preparing ourselves for a catch, because why has a house been on the market for a month and a half in the current situation the market is in? Houses selling within a week of being on the market, way over asking price. So what is wrong with this house? Why do people not want it? We don't want to get our hopes up. We've done it so many times, literally 20 times now. It doesn't get us anywhere. We just get excited and then we're gutted when a house isn't good enough, or when we love a house and we don't get it. So we're just kind of thinking, prepare yourself for a catch, because then if there's not a catch, it'll be great, and if there is, you're prepared for it. So once we have viewed, I will give you an update. I will let you know what's happening. Hi guys, so I wanted to jump back on here and give you an update of what's happened. So we viewed the house last night and me and Harry both really liked it. We decided to make an offer this morning, so I called them about 10:15 and made the offer. So it was up for offers in excess of 190 and we offered 193,600. And about 2 hours later, the estate agents called back and said that our offer has been accepted. Thank God. We are so relieved. We are so happy. We had had enough of looking at houses. We'd had enough of going through the same process over and over again. And we finally found a house that we love, and for some reason it's been so straightforward. Maybe that's meant to be, maybe we were meant to view it at the time we did, because I actually sent it to Harry a month ago, the link to the house, and for some reason we never went any further with it. We just kind of said, oh, it's worth a view, but didn't go and view it. But yeah, we have had our offer accepted, so we are really excited. We can't wait. I have sent the information over to the estate agents this morning, like what they need to verify our offer basically. So that was ID and bank statements, I think. So now all we need to do is choose a solicitor. We think we know who we're going to go with. It's just the solicitors that our mortgage advisor recommends, and then we will let the estate agents know probably by Monday. So at the moment it's Friday the 10th of June. So by Monday the house will be off the market and it will be ours. I know I shouldn't say that, but it will be off the market. So yeah, we're so excited. Like honestly, I can't believe it. I can't believe it's been so straightforward. I know I shouldn't say that. Stop saying that, Rosie. Touch wood. After the viewings we've had in the past 8 months and the experience we've had with obviously pulling out of the old house, we were kind of just giving up, and we were like, well, maybe we're never gonna find a house. And then yeah, when I have another update for you, I will come back on and let you know what is happening. But I guess the next steps are to apply for the mortgage, to apply for life insurance, house insurance. God, the stress begins again. But yeah, hopefully now we've got a better mortgage advisor, and the estate agents are actually an independent estate agent. They're not a big chain like, I don't know, William H. Brown and Hart. So hopefully we'll have a bit of a better experience with them than the other estate agent that I was talking about, which I will not name. I will jump back on here when I have another update for you, whenever something significant happens, I guess. And yeah, we're so excited and we're so happy, and thank God we have found a house. It's only been 8 months. 20 viewings later. I'm sure it could have been worse, but at the moment it doesn't feel like it could have been. And even our mortgage advisor said we have had the run of it with the houses we've tried to go for and viewed. It's just been an experience. But I will update you when I next have an update.